Hey guys, this is Marie and I'm back with another video, and this video is going to be a crock-pot chili recipe. So let's get started. So in this video, I will be showing you and talking to you a little bit about how to make crock-pot chili. So let's go ahead and get into it. Now as you guys can see at the title of this video is going to be all about making crock-pot chili. So here we go. Now as you guys can see here is my crock-pot. I've had this one for about a year now, and we picked this one up at Walmart, and I believe this is the largest one that they do have. I'm not sure if there's any larger ones out there, but this is the largest one they had at Walmart, and it's a pretty simple one. It has off, low, high, and then also warm. And then here is how deep it is inside of it. Now this makes pretty much a full pot of chili, so my husband and I can have one night of dinner in this, and then we always put it inside a container and have leftovers, and we can probably have probably about 2 to 3 more dinners with this size crock pot. So it's a really good size crock pot to make chili in, and plus you have leftovers inside of it. So here is what this looks like. And then here are my ingredients that I'm going to be using to put inside of this crock pot. So the first thing is a red onion. The next thing is organic ground beef, and this is the one that we use, but you don't have to use this. You can use any kind of ground beef, but we like this one a lot better. And I will be using 2 of these, and these are each 1 pound each. And then we have some chili powder seasoning, and I just got 2 of those. And then the next thing I got was these fire roasted garlic diced tomatoes, 1 can of that. Then 1 can of tomato paste. I got 2 cans of small kidney beans, and these are the red ones. And then I got 3 cans of the tomato sauce with no salt added. And then here is my seasonings. I'm just going to be using salt, garlic pepper, regular pepper, garlic powder, and then this garlic, and then some garlic pepper seasoning. So we have a lot of garlic because we love garlic, and this is pretty much everything that I'm going to be using. So here is an overview real quick of all the stuff. Okay, so the first thing I do is start my meat. So I have 1 pound in here right now. I'm going to go ahead and add the second one in here so they can cook at the same time. And then while this is cooking, I will be opening my cans of tomato sauce, and I will be putting those inside of the crock pot. So I'm going to go ahead and get my other second beef inside of the pot so I can start cooking that while I'm opening up the cans of tomato sauce to put those in there. So I'll be right back. Alright, so I have all 3 cans open of the tomato sauce. So I'm going to go ahead and stick 1 in right now. And then I went on ahead and sprayed the inside of the pot. So we'll put this in there first. And usually 1 can will fill the bottom for you. And then the next thing I will be doing is putting 1 can of the small red beans, of the kidney beans. I'm going to go ahead and open this up and put them in there. Alright, so here is the red kidney beans, so I'm just going to put those in here. Alright, that's finished. And then moving on to the next thing, I'm only going to do half of these tomatoes first, and then I'll do the other half on top. So we'll go ahead and put some in here. That's good. And then the next thing will be the tomato paste. Now I only use 1 can. You can use more if you want to, but this is just to thicken it up. If you want to thicken up really good or have it loose, I would just do 1 can of the tomato paste. But if you want it really, really thick, I would do probably 2 of these. So I'm going to go ahead and spoon this in there because it is really, really, really thick. Alright, so here's what it looks like so far. So now I'm going to get a spoon and go ahead and stir this around a little bit. And once you get some of the stuff already in there, you can go ahead and turn it on. So I'm going to turn mine on high. And this usually takes about at least 5 hours on high, or you can do it on low for probably between 8 to 9 hours. So it depends on how long you want to cook your chili, and if you have all day to cook it, then I would cook it on low. If you don't have all day, you can cook it on high to make it go faster. But I usually cook mine on high after 5 hours, and usually that last hour I just turn it on low. So let me go ahead and grab my spoon, and then I'll go ahead and start stirring this up. So all you do is just stir it up a little bit, especially the paste part, because you want to get that broken up a little bit so you can get an even amount in there. Alright, so once this is stirred up really well, the next thing you'll do is grab your meat and start putting that in there. So I'm going to grab that and put that in there. Alright, so here's what my meat looks like. It's pretty much finished, and this is the 2 pounds of the ground organic beef. So here's what it looks like. It's all finished. So now I'm going to go ahead and take it off the stove, put it by the sink, and drain all the grease out, and then start adding the meat to the chili. Alright, so here is my ground beef. It's all drained out, no grease or anything. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start adding some in there. So you just put it in there. And I will only use like half of it first, and then I'll use the other half on the second part. And you put all the other seasoning in there. So I'm going to go ahead and do this, and then I will be right back. Alright, so here's what it looks like now with half of the ground beef. The next thing I'm going to do is put 1 package of this chili seasoning mix in here. Alright, there it is. And I'm going to go ahead and give it a quick stir and just get the meat in there covered and the package of powder stuff in there. And as you guys can see, it's already getting thick, so I'm definitely going to be adding the other 2 cans of tomato sauce. So once you just keep stirring, get that part mixed up, then you can add your rest of your seasonings and the rest of the second layer of the stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and start adding my seasonings first, and then I'll add the rest of the other ingredients and the other thing of chili powder, and then my onion, and then it'll be complete. So let's go ahead and start putting that in there. So I'm going to go ahead and put 1 more can of this in here, and then I'll go ahead and start putting my seasonings in there next. Alright, so here's what it looks like now. So pretty much all my seasonings are in there. This I only use about 2 spoonfuls of this, and that's it. And then here I just kind of sprinkled a couple of times. I did the same thing with the garlic powder. I sprinkled a couple of times. Did the same thing with the garlic pepper, and also the sea salt, and then also the other garlic pepper grated one. So now I'm going to go ahead and stir this part up and get the seasoning on the bottom all mixed up together. And then I can always go back and add more seasoning after I get complete with everything else inside the pot. So here's what it looks like so far. Let's get in there. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead and add up the rest of the kidney beans, the diced tomatoes, and another thing of tomato sauce, and then add my onion and the rest of the meat, and then it'll be complete. So let me go ahead and start that. Alright, so here is what it looks like after I added everything else to it for the second round. I added my onion, another can of kidney beans, another round of the seasoning again, also the last bit of the diced tomatoes, and some more seasoning. So that is pretty much everything that is actually in here. So I'm going to give it a quick stir. I didn't add the tomato sauce yet. I wanted to stir it up real quick to see how it is. It is actually pretty thick, so we're going to see what it looks like after I get done stirring. And I did use almost the whole thing of onion. You don't have to. You can use like a half of it. It depends on how much onion you want to use. I've learned in the past when you do like a little bit of onion, it kind of disappears inside the chili and you really don't taste it. So I try to use almost a whole onion so we can at least have the flavor of the onion in there. So here's what it looks like. It looks like it's really thick, nice, good sized chili. I'm gonna go ahead and add just like a little half of the tomato sauce and then stir it again and then see what happens. So we'll just do half of this and then we're gonna stir again and then see what it looks like then. Now you can always go back and add more throughout the day if you want to do a little bit more looser, because it will get thickened once it gets really hot in here and starts cooking. It will get really thick. So that looks like it's really good now. Alright, and there's your chili. Now, I only use 2 things of ground beef, but if you like a lot of meat, you can probably add at least 1 more. So I'm thinking maybe later on when I check it to see how it is, I might add a 3rd one, but I might just leave it the way it is. But it's always options. This is just like a pretty little easy way to make your own crock-pot chili. Over the years when you learn how to make it every year, you can add more stuff to it and make it your own, and that's what I've done in the past. So, but it looks like it's really good, and you can see how much it is. It's pretty much almost filled up the whole pot. Now if I add the rest of that sauce, it's really getting completely filled up, so we will have plenty of chili for the next 3 days. Yep, so it's really thick now, so I'm going to go ahead and just add that last bit of sauce. Alright, there's the last can. And then I'll give it one more stir around one more time. Yeah, it's loosening up a little bit more now. Like I said, once it starts cooking and getting hot and starts going at it for a couple hours, it will get thickened again. So you can start loose first, and then you can always let it see how it thickens up, and if it gets too thick you can always add another can of the tomato sauce. Alright, well that's what it looks like so far. So I'm going to cook this for about 5 hours. Probably within at least the 3-hour period I will go back and check it and see how it is. Then after the 5 hours, I will go back and check it and see if it needs to be a little bit longer. If it's good after the 5 hours, then I will turn it on low and let it cook on low until we are ready to eat our chili. And then the only other thing I do is just boil my water for my rice, and then put some butter in that. And then we always put the rice separate and then put the chili on top. And then we always have like some butter bread that we always dip in with it or eat it with the chili. But that is pretty much what it looks like right now. I will come back a little later on and show you in a couple hours to show you what it looks like when it's really cooking. And then just give you guys an idea of what it looks like after it starts getting hot and actually sitting here and cooking. And it looks really good already. But it's going to really look really good once it starts actually cooking. So I will see you guys a little later on and show you what it looks like after that. Alright guys, so it's been about 3 hours now while this has been cooking, so I figured I'd come and take a little sneak peek and see how it's coming and stir it a little bit and see how thickened it gotten. So here's what it looks like with the lid on. So we're going to put the lid off. And we're just going to do a quick stir. Oh yeah, it's getting really nice and thick. Looks really good. Yep. Alright, so we're getting there. So this has been about 3 hours, so I got about 2 more hours to go. After that, what I'll do is just, after the 5 hours, come back and check it. And then I will just put it on low until we are ready to eat our dinner. And then the only other thing I will be doing is cooking and boiling my rice, and then getting our butter ready for our butter bread. And then we will just put some cheese on top, and we will have a nice crock-pot chili dinner for tonight and the next 3 nights. So that is pretty much it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please give this video a big thumbs up, comment down below, and definitely don't forget to subscribe to my channel to see more. Until next time, I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!